So I also I have to finally ask you this. Odd Tonic. I did not know about Odd Tonic before.
We're new.
2 weeks ago.
Well, that's okay.
And I went back and I listened to the intro and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And I think because I viewed you through the lens of gaming, which is not all of Jen Page.
Right.
All of gaming. She has many other facets to her life. I thought, well, this must be some sort of gaming thing. And then when I started listening to it, I'm like,
what the heck is going on?
When I first heard it, I thought you were going to do like a stage play and you do all the voices with Maxwell. And then you were like reading like descriptions of things that really happened. So to me, it seems like a weird mashup of a documentary that is kind of a stage play.
Yeah.
And like, so you tell me, what is it?
All right. For those who don't know, Odd Tonic is a podcast. And we're 14 episodes out now, so we're fairly new.
Ooh, 14.
Yeah, we got 14 under our belt. And me and my partner Maxwell, it's all us, and it's a podcast about weird history, strange science, and spooky phenomenon. So we talk about all kinds of weird things. If anyone is interested, before I forget, you can go to Facebook/Tonic Society to check us out. But
nice.
Yeah, we've done episodes on Emperor Norton and spiritual possession, superstitions, obviously cursed items, all kinds of fun stuff. We do regular installments of listener stories, and it's just, if you like weird, odd, strange anything, we're bound to cover it. And I just have this big spooky streak about me, and it's really great to be doing this show. And yeah, I just absolutely adore it. So much fun.
Yeah, well, you already gave me like 12 ideas for Call of Cthulhu games. So
yes, perfect, right?
So it's working.
Yes, I think it's working.
Jimmy, can you post that link maybe in chat, and we can get that up there? We'll put it in post as well for maybe on the YouTube. YouTubes.
Jen, is it off your Facebook page? I'm assuming. Okay, let me go pull it.
And there's an Odd Tonic Facebook page too.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it right now.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, Odd Tonic Society, she said, off Facebook.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to listen to two lovely people talk about weird shit.
That's us.
I mean, that tagline writes itself.
Yeah.
And I found it fascinating. At first, I was disoriented, which I like because I'm really into spooky, weird stuff too.
Right.
And so, like at first, I kind of like it where I'm like, what's going on? Not 100% sure. But then once I really started delving into it, I thought it was really an interesting presentation. And your like chemistry back and forth with Maxwell is just, people got to go listen to it. I can't describe it beyond that.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
it's really good.
For no other reason, there's somebody named Maxwell on there. I mean, it screams like Call of Cthulhu creepy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So now the one thing you and I have in common is we have run Call of Cthulhu games at conventions. So can you, now we probably have different experiences with that, but how did you, because I understand you're more of a player, less of a GM, yes?
I am. In fact, the only games I've ever run have been at conventions as a DM, which is a crazy way to start, right?
Yeah, that's deep end.
Yeah, right. Jump right into the
playing for
Viper's
strangers
Den.
at a convention. But yeah, I have played in Call of Cthulhu games for years, and just being a guest at conventions, the convention will ask you, well, is there anything you want to do and that sort of thing. And yeah, I've done screenings for movies and things like that, but I do love to game. And it just always seemed easier what if I ran a game instead of just popping into someone else's game? And usually I have months in advance, and I like to write my own single shot campaigns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So not only do I run a game, I design the campaign as well, and specifically for conventions, so they can wrap up in 2 or 3 hours.
That's a big challenge. That's a big
Good
challenge.
luck getting into one of Jen Page's games. They go out very, very quickly. Yes.
That's sweet.
It's funny too, Jen, that apparently at Gen Con at least, Call of Cthulhu is like the most popular requested game.
Oh, it's so fun. It's just
which somebody told me is because people can't find local games. They can't find anybody to play at home.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
True,
Sure.
which is weird. We all have to meet up one day and realize that this is a thing. But I love it because, you roll if you piss yourself. To roll to see if you can, or you go insane, or the pressure's kind of off because you kind of assume you're gonna die.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
You might as well enjoy the ride.
Yeah, but we haven't talked about this yet, but what I love about gaming is just how cinematic it can be. And that's the actor in me. So when I run these campaigns, like I bring, period music, 1920s jazz, I want candles on the table. I want props. Everyone gets a prop, so it just starts to feel a little bit more real and just
there
really
may or may not be wine involved.
Oh God, I hope so. And just really kind of set that mood, and it's just such an emotionally intensive game that, you want to be creeped out, you want to be scared, and I think
Cthulhu especially really appeals to that LARPy aesthetic.
Yeah,
but not quite as completely immersive as most LARP skit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I'll like suss out my players at the table. Like if I have a player who, in one of the games, the player plays a policeman whose son has gone missing. So I'll figure out who in the group is actually a parent and give them that role. I'm psychologically bad.
That's awesome. That's great. I had in one of my games, one of the props was an iPad. Mm-hmm. And so one of the people who game played was about 18 years old. And I said, you don't do much in this game except look at your iPad. And there's 3 things that could trigger you. If those things don't trigger you, you pretty much just have to sit there for 6 hours. And he goes, I will totally do that. And he goes, but can I use my own iPad? And I said, yeah, for sure. So he swaps out the prop and he sat there and just surfed for like 4 hours before something happened that he had to react to. Wow. It was the most amazing background acting I'd ever seen in my life.
It was good that he didn't miss good he didn't miss it.
He didn't miss it. He was into it the whole time. It was really weird. So I don't know, Jen, do you have any more time to spend to chat with us tonight?
I can give you a couple more minutes.
Okay, cool. So, I think kind of the whole, our whole next part of this was talking about like new blood in the hobby, just in terms of like how to define some terms for people so that they kind of understand the people that they're dealing with. Like right now their 5e player is a pretty broad category. You could be playing a lot of different things if you're a 5e D&D player. So, but then you hear about people who play old school gaming. You hear about the dreaded grognards. You hear about, like all these different terms.
Our channel now, so
backyard gaming.
Jay's around here somewhere.
Only turns toward Jimmy.
Put down my dice.
Jimmy does have a real detailed Fantasy Grounds layout, though. So much props to Jimmy. But I like the epochs of gaming that I've gone through all of them except for that very, very, very early one. And to me, I guess I just want to have a talk about like what is the difference between modern gaming and old school, aside from maybe a little more emphasis on the narrative and things like that. I mean, and why do you think that appeals to different people? I mean, I guess that's just a place I would start.
Well, I think that hopefully, you get into gaming for a certain reason, you're going to gravitate towards it and find the group that meshes with what you want to do, right? So if you're just hack and slaying through everything, hopefully you can find a group that really enjoys doing that together, and it can be daunting to think, gosh, where do I start? But gosh, there's streams like this, there's YouTube videos, there's, everything, so many things that you can research on your own, blogs, that sort of thing, to just figure out what resonates with you, because there isn't any right or wrong, right? So you shouldn't really be intimidated. So hopefully people can kind of ask questions, look around, maybe go to a convention and just hang around and watch some games, mingle, just see what people are doing.
That seems daunting to me. That seems daunting, like going to a convention to figure it out.
Oh, just checking it out.
Right. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I'd be like, whoa, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to, like, there's never been an era where we had participants that weren't playing either. We have that now. We have.
Oh yeah, people just stand there and watch. Or gosh, more people say that they watch gaming than actually participate in it now with all the streams,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? We talked just a couple minutes ago about the right way to play a game, but I think when people are just learning, obviously they don't know. They're just doing what they think that the game is about. So maybe I just learned 5e D&D, and I've played Diablo before, and that is my perception of what this game is going to be like.
Right,
And it's
right.
not until I hit up YouTube or go to conventions and I learn there's deeper styles of gaming that their play style evolves and they learn to do what they love. Maybe it is just hack and slash.
Yeah.
Maybe it's deep role
For
playing.
sure.
Yeah.
I've got, so just as an aside, my two oldest kids, 10 and 8.
Uh-oh.
He froze up.
You froze,
He's
man.
no,
Boy,
I
you
froze. My internet connection is unstable, it says.
Oh,
Am I
wow.
back?
10 and
Am I
8,
back?
and then you stopped.
Yeah.
10 and 8, yeah. So 10 and 8, my daughter is the oldest, my son being the 8-year-old, and all my daughter wants to do is role play, and my son, I mean, all he wants to do is the hack and slash. Like my daughter will be in the middle of trying to negotiate with the bandit, whatever, and my son's like, oh,
Kill it.
I love it.
But I agree. I like what you said, that there is no right, and I think that's really important for people to wrap their heads around. Is there's no like people that are trying to aspire to be Matt Mercer or whatever. You just do what's comfortable, and you'll have a good time. Have a good time, and that'll be
And I think maybe that video game influence, I don't think you certainly can't ignore it. But I think the idea, like I'm on a lot of Facebook groups and a lot of boards listening to people talk about these things, and somehow they think it's not authentic if death isn't on the line in every scene, or if we're not going to killing the monster or whatever it may be, whatever the trope is, right? But then I think, okay, yeah, I can see how personal taste you can feel that way, but video games have done a shit ton more research into what people actually like to get them to keep playing.
Yeah.
And way more than this industry has done, way more. And the end result of that was loot crates. So maybe we don't want to follow that model too quickly, but just the idea that people want to propel forward. They designed 5e so that you're going to hit 60% of the time. Because nobody likes to miss all the time,
Right.
unless you're playing
Pathfinder.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Cthulhu, the expectation's different. My gun jams. If your gun doesn't jam at least once during the game, like you're not playing
If you
Cthulhu.
don't run away, you're not making a good decision.
Exactly.
What are some good video games that are emotional horror that could lead you to playing Call of Cthulhu and having fun?
Oh, that's a good one. It would have to be some kind of more of a, I was just thinking as we talked, gaming is so much more of a sandbox experience than a narrative, because it can go so many different ways. And that's kind of one of the great things about it, is because it's such a big sandbox with a little bit of kitty litter, that you can take it however you want to go. And it is human nature to want to know the answers and to be right, and then defend it to the core because your brain made a decision. But really, especially if you're learning, that's not how you learn. So if you're really just getting into gaming now, just try and keep an open mind, and don't worry so much about the free fall. You'll land somewhere.
True.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, Jen, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time tonight. It was great to actually get to meet you. And anytime you're at Gen Con and you're looking for that like 9 to 2 a.m. dripping with horror, lots of props, music, the whole 9 yards, we'll invite you up. You always have a seat at the table.
I'll bring some wine. And,
There you go. There'll be drinks are always provided, but you can always bring your own.
So I hear you're not going to make it to Gen Con this year. Is that right?
No,
Where can we see you next?
Let's see. I had my eye on Dragon Con this year, but I just don't think I'm able to do that. It's a little up in the air this year. Usually it's tied to whatever film I'm promoting, and next year for sure we'll be promoting Chaldea, Peter Atkinson project. So definitely then. And this right now I'm so focused on I started working on Fantasy Grounds just in November, so I'm still feel like I'm onboarding for that, and that's a full-time job. And then when I'm not working, then it's all Tonic. So and we're just in development still right now, and we're building up that production value, and so it's kind of that's my focus this year. But we'll branch out and eventually I'll see the light of day again.
Right on. Right on.
I believe Jen once said that she was going to host a gaming convention of her own.
Gen Con.
Con, yes. Still waiting for that. Yeah.
With a J.
30
Yeah.
people.
Don't do it. It's terrible.
Yeah, right. Like I have enough on my plate. I'll just
Oh
be.
my gosh.
Yeah, but it would be great to hang out with you guys at a convention sometime.
Well, I happen to know of a convention in Colorado that you might be. We can certainly invite you to as a special guest.
Perfect. All right.
Well, cool. Hey, thanks a lot again, Jen. Have a lovely night. And
Thank you.
everybody, check out Odd Tonic. It's exactly what it sounds like.
Thank you, Jen.
Thanks
Yeah.
again.
Jen, appreciate
Have a
it.
great one.
Enjoy
All
your
right.
evening.
Take care, guys. Have a good
All
rest of your stream.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too. Bye-bye, Jen.
Bye.